I said to myself, aka Padders, I said it as the film buff, I said it. If this documentary starts with Steven Spielberg's face, I'm going to lose it. I'm not going to be able to watch this thing. I'm not going to take it seriously. Well, I was proven wrong. But then during the John Williams, Music of John Williams documentary available right now on Disney Plus, this is amongst some must-watch documentaries. There's a Stanley one. There's a Jim Henson one. There's got to be more to come. These are fantastic. It's a documentary about John Williams. I'm looking at Steven Spielberg's face and I'm seething. But they're playing John Williams music, and I'm, I guess I'm simple because I get locked in. And then it's all systems are go. Because this guy is an absolute weapon. We have to talk about him. We have to discuss this documentary, and we have to discuss the good that Disney Plus is doing with movies like this. It's because this is a movie.
Camera speed.
Sound production, take 1.
Action!
Let's just get into it. I don't believe John Williams is the greatest. People will say he's the greatest composer of all time. Recently, with our discussion of Born on the 4th of July and JFK, which is, this documentary is great because it kind of goes into a little bit of the process of John Williams and Oliver Stone. But I've stated I prefer the Oliver Stone John Williams versus the Steven Spielberg John Williams. A little bit of how Steven Spielberg and George Lucas, how they arrived to John Williams and used them. The two individuals, Spielberg and Lucas, they shared a certain ear for film music, soundtracks, themes, so on and so forth. John Williams there's so much synergy. John Williams, right guy, right place, right project, right opportunity to bring in the orchestra. And then at that point, film scores never looked behind. Born on the 4th of July has better themes than Star Wars. JFK has better themes than Indiana Jones. Guys like James Horner, who I absolutely adore, Alan Silvestri, Jerry Goldsmith, these guys are equally as good as John Williams. John Williams solidified himself in Hollywood lore with the early career of Steven Spielberg and George Lucas. And then because of that, those two cats brought him down. The failure of the later career of Steven Spielberg and George Lucas takes away some of the punch of what should be John Williams' arc. Because John Williams should be in endless blockbusters, endless dramas, endless even comedies. But he should be in endless movies that constantly hit the lexicon. And he's not. And if you watch this documentary, you see that they kind of have to get into his Monday Night Football theme, his Olympics theme, his Harry Potter theme, because of his later career. It drifts. But here's the wild thing. The guy's been nominated for 53, 54 Oscars. I believe he's won 4. He's a dual nominee multiple times. And he's one of the greats. This documentary is fantastic because we get to learn about his life. I had no idea his father was a musician. So much of that makes sense. And he's also an individual of destiny. He feels he always should be doing this. He always would have been doing this. He when he first sees an orchestra or walks onto a stage, he believes it's his. He believes that he will arrive there someday. He works nonstop. He works obsessively. He's happiest when he works. These are all things we hear from individuals just like this. And it makes sense. I'm long on record of all the Star Wars movies. I think Star Wars The Force Awakens is his best work. I believe everything he's touched is worthy. It's there. But he's also an individual where do we give him too much attention? Do we do too much with him? Because when we do that, we ignore guys like James Horner, who if you listen to Dark Crystal, it's hard to deny James Horner. It's hard to deny modern day Hans Zimmer, and the list goes on. But he's of a class, and he's connected to these iconic movies. Disney has a similar documentary on Jim Henson, another fantastic documentary on Stan Lee. My biggest takeaway for this one was his early life, which I really do enjoy. I love hearing, reading, learning about people's early lives, because their careers can get choppy, and sometimes we're ourselves too connected to parts of their career, and a lot of times, as I just said, we magnify parts of their career. This is the good work that Disney is doing. This is the good work of something like Disney Plus. These individuals, as too much adulation, maybe too bloated, I get it, as they are, they deserve attention nonetheless. There's a lot of people out there not familiar with John Williams and his contribution to film, period. We put guys like John Williams, we should lift them up a little bit, because they're intricate in the American style of filmmaking, which is really copied around the world. It's like things come from this part of the globe for a particular reason. But he's great, AKAPADers. I think for this weekend, I'm happy to kind of drop this episode on a Friday, because I really do feel you're better watching this. You're better watching the Jim Henson one. You're better watching the Stan Lee one. I hope Disney Plus does not slow down. I would love it if we had one documentary like this per quarter, stretching across all of their properties, everything that they own. They can keep going, and I would love for this to be a series. I think it's monumentally important. So please educate yourself. Come back here, educate me in the comments, or if you see me on social. Music by John Williams, available. Can I talk? Available right now on Disney Plus.
Okay, that's a wrap.